Basically what we do is we get together every 2 weeks and we beat up our friends with foam sticks. There's a lot more involved than that. I know if you guys have come by the table, that's kind of the gist of it. We're like, hey, do you like beating up nerds with foam sticks? Because it kind of sounds fun. But there is a lot more involved with the club than that.
We actually have an event tomorrow. I know a lot of you guys are going to be here at Nekocon. Our event check-in runs from noon to 1, so if you guys aren't going to be hitting the panels in like the afternoon or something and you want to swing by, our park is literally like 10 minutes down the road. So you can come and actually participate. A lot of the people that we recruited last year from Nekocon did that, and they're still coming out. So we actually have a few of them here today. So they've been coming out for the year straight.
So again, like we said, it's full contact. What full contact means is when we swing, it has to be what you give me somebody I can beat on.
Chase, Tyler.
So when we swing, it has to be a full motion swing and it has to stop or deflect. So these don't count. When we swing, it has to be a swing. And every subsequent swing has to land with sufficient force. So when I hit, I can't hit and then this doesn't count. I have to hit with sufficient force with every single swing that we throw. You can see that the sword has tape on the bottom. This donates the type of damage that we're doing. So white is slashing, so swords, axes. Red is for stabbing, so anything that you see with red tape can stab. This one only has red tape. This is a black sword or a great sword that does cleaving damage, and then we have yellow, which is crushing damage. We'll get into all that a little bit later. But we base everything by the damage types that we do. For obvious reasons, we ask you guys to call your colors when you swing, because she was wearing some armor. You can see Chaz has on plate mail. So to touch on armor a little bit, our armor is armor grade quality, so our chainmail has to be made out of steel, our plate mail has to be made out of steel. It's 18 gauge minimum steel, brass, or bronze. We do not allow aluminum or titanium, or some of the other games allow PVC as long as it looks like what we use. It actually has to be steel we require because it gives you so many points.
What Angela was just wearing was actual leather. You can come in late, we're good. Come on.
So we make sure we ask you guys to call your colors, especially from behind. So if Chaz was over here, Chaz, come over real quick. If he was fighting somebody facing away from me and I run up and I hit him, his armor has 4 points. So plate mail has 4 points. White does 1, red does 2. So if I have a white and a red, I can run up, and if I stab him, if he's fighting somebody, he's not going to really know the difference between a stab and a slash. So that's why we're saying call your colors. So if I ran up behind him and I was red, he would know to take 2 points of damage, and I say white, he's still alive because the plate mail gives you 4. Yep. So that's 2 plus 1 plus 1 equals 4. It takes a little while to get used to armor hits if you guys wear armor. We are not restricted on the type of weapons that you come out and use on your first. When you come out, you got to go through a new player speech for your first 5 events to learn the basic rules. But you can wear armor. You can use any weapon you want. You can pick a class if you want to, but we do give you guys a 5-event grace period to get your garb together and kind of pick a class that you want to.
Basically, it's live edge to D&D. So we have mages, clerics, druids, rangers, fighters, cavaliers, and assassins and thieves.
And witch hunter.
And we are playtesting bards right now. Putting new classes in the games takes a while, so we're playtesting bard to try to be like an extra buff class. So if you guys ever played a bard in a game, you know how they kind of run around with a guitar and play and sing. We do that on the field.
Yeah. If this panel kind of, if you are more interested in the roleplay aspect than the fighting aspect, and if you're a little bit afraid of how loud some of these pop noises are to you, don't worry, because anytime you're on the field, if you feel overwhelmed by the situation, if there's too many people around you, or if you don't want to get hit that hard, you can feel free to call dead at any point in time, and then that's it. You're safe in the situation. They're not going to hit on you anymore. So this way, nobody has to feel uncomfortable playing the game.
Sometimes.
And also, if you guys are not real into the fighting aspect, this right here, this well, she's not Aethan today, but she half dragon. She's like level 60-something mage. One of the most dangerous characters in the whole game. She does not swing a sword.
Ever. We have spells. So this is my fireballs. So when I play my dragon character, this does 3-foot radius damage. So if I were to cast my spell, and then say pouch fireball, pretty much missed.
Everyone I can touch with my hand is now dead.
Yeah, so. It comes in handy. And they're really
Way to go, Tyler.
She touched on the spells a little bit. With the way you rank up in the game is you come out and you guys start off at 1.0. You start off as a rank 1 character. We all started that way. And then every event you come to, you get 1 credit. In campouts, we do 2 campouts a year, which are 2 days in the woods fighting. There's usually a full adventure that runs You get 3 credits for those days, and every now and then we do a credit buy day where we're doing a donation or a charity, pay a little bit of extra money, and we just throw you guys some extra credits. If you get into the game doing stuff like this, cons, we give out extra credits for going to cons because we all paid a bunch of money to be here, and we're sitting in garb at a table all day, so we give you guys a credit for, hey, thanks for coming out and promoting the club. So as you level up, it's 1 credit per event. And then every 5 credits is a level. So you start off with 1.0, you come out to 5 events, and that's all you make. It's 2.5 months, you rank up to 2, and then you continue on. The highest character in the game is her mage, is 60-something. I have a character that's close to 50. So it takes a long time. I've been playing a little bit over 12 years, so it takes a long time to get characters. I have multiple characters over 20. So it takes a while to level up, but it's kind of a power flux thing to make sure that you're not just running on the field and you're the most powerful person in the game. So it takes a little while just to get into it.
Your fighting ability, though, is based on what you can bring to the field. So a lot of people do multiple things. He doesn't just come out every 2 weeks. He comes to the events on 2 weeks. He goes to other games on off Sundays. He goes to other games on Saturdays. We do Monday night practices in Portsmouth. We do Wednesday night practices in Newport News. He fights in my yard. Our house is basically half LARP. So, this game is our life.
Mostly LARP.
But the more that you put into the game is what you're going to get out of the game. You can't walk on the field and expect to kill everyone on the field. However, at the same time, when you guys are new and you come out, don't expect that you're going to die every single fight. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to die. You're going to die. However, there is a specialty that we like to call noob food. Because you guys are new, it means that our older guys don't know how you fight. Because you don't know how you fight yet. You haven't developed that style, which means our guys aren't going to know how to read you. So you are going to get some kills, and you're going to get some kills with some of the guys that are one of the better fighters on the field. So, I mean, it goes back and forth.
Okay. We don't really have like a script. That's why I said I hope you guys don't take anything serious.
There is no script. There's 0 script. Some other things that you can do with fighting besides just hitting. We do allow grappling and shield bashing. Oh yes, but think high school wrestling. Do not go around punching people in the heads. Not cool. No headlocks. No thank you. But we could do a little shield bash maybe.
I mean, Eric and Tyler get laid out.
Down this way so we don't do the projector.
With shield bashing, it has to be shield to shield.
No.
You can't run.
Go up a little bit, Eric, so you're not next to the projector.
Shield to shield. And it doesn't matter how big or small the people are.
Yeah.
So you can see Eric
No, once I shield bash Randy in full plate, I actually bounced off of him.
So as long as it's shield to shield, Eric can run across the field.
And he just runs over you.
And then run Tyler over if he wants to get hurt. So
That's what he does.
You come at me, I'll be nice. Get him?
Get him.
Get him. Like that. However, if you want to come out and you want to be a fighter and come out in a tank machine and buy yourself a full suit of chainmail, trust me, my squire is one of them. She a hoss. She will be mad at you if you are not shield bashing her and hitting her twice as hard as you do with the other guys. So it varies from person to person.
Again, like we said, full context. So what that means is basically when you throw a shot, it has to be, but it's an honor system. So if I throw a shot and I can't really see where it lands on Tyler because he's got a shield. So say I try to hit him in the shoulder, and it's not on me to say, hey, I hit you. It's an honor-based system. I don't say, got you. You know, we're not 4 or 5 years old. It's on him to say that I actually hit him. So if I throw the shot, and we kind of communicate with each other. He'll say no or whatever. We're sparring. There's a lot more communication in sparring on the big events. You're out there just hammering each other with 50 or 60 dudes on the field. I ain't got time to talk to you. You ain't hit me. Sorry, dude. You know, I don't have time to communicate. But communication is a good thing. But sufficient force shot from a smaller person. If there's a girl on the field that's 5 foot tall and weighs 100 pounds versus Eric who's 6'4" and weighs 300.
I'm not going to charge you.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's a difference in force, but a full force swing, you expect it to be, you know, it varies from person to person. So you got to take that with what it is.
Yes.
So as far as the game itself, other than the fighting system, which we want to go over the fighting system as when we do the fighting part. we do everything based on country. So you can see a lot of us, a few of us wearing brown and green. This is Tiercast. We're one of the countries in the game. A country consists of a minimum of 4 people with surcoats and a battle flag, which is just 2 foot by 2 foot with your colors and symbol. And then you write up your own country history with that, whatever you want. 500 to 1,000 years is what we request. So you can say day 1 we didn't exist. Year 500 we showed up today. That can be your country history, or you can be as elaborate as you want if you want to. That's where the role play comes in. So each country, once they declare, we have a land map. You can choose hexes on your map. You get 13 hexes. You get a capital, and then the hexes on the land represent your land, or hexes on the map represent your land, and you can go to war with other countries and take their hexes from them. So that's one of the cool aspects we have over some of the other games, is if I'm mad at Raukea, and his only representation today is Chaz. He's the only one here. Well, his wife's in the back.
Aaron
I don't know why she's sitting back there hanging out.
Because there's a little baby people.
She's got a baby people. So if we're mad at them, and we're going to war with you, so we declare with our land marshal, he keeps track of the whole system. We get to their lands and we go and we fight them. So if that day Tiercat field 16 and they field 4, it's 16 on 4. They got the option to hire nomads to equal our numbers, so we can make it 16 on 16. But that's on his call if he wants to.
You're never required to join a country. You can stay a nomad as long as you want.
Yep.
Which means you can get hired and make some money. We do actually have a
We do have an economy within the system. We also, with your land, if you're in a country, you can do land searches, which is how you get to fight monsters other than adventure days. So you would tell the land marshal, hey, we're going to explore this new hex of land. And then he would roll out on the chart, and he would say, you show up the next event, and you get to fight these kind of monsters. So there could be anything from goblins, which are one hit, you touch them and they die. Or they can be anything to a dragon, or what is it, chromatic dragon is on the new chart, which has 15 hits. It's giant, so if it's a giant, anybody within 10 feet has to be on their knees, and it has 3 fireballs, which she threw the fireball.
No, chromatic dragon has 3 fireballs, 3 ice storms, and 3 lightning bolts.
So it has 9 spell balls, 15 hits, and it's giant. It swings one hand, double damage. So they're not easy to beat. So it's a scale of anything you could run into. What time is it? Then what's that, 13 minutes? We got a couple more.
Yeah.
There's no more minutes to talk about stuff. What else?
But at the same time, with land searches, you have to have the rangers in order to do it. So a lot of people look at the ranger class and like, I don't know about rangers. Rangers are cool because you have to have them in order to land search. Has to. For whatever reason, our country has been around since the very beginning of this game. The one class we can never keep are rangers. I have a 67 level mage. I was going to keep going with her, but no, I had to make a ranger because we don't have any of them that show up.
And I have one on the book. I've just never brought her out.
Yeah, do you guys have any questions?
Called out, right?
Each class is restricted in one way or another.
It's a balance.
Rangers can use pretty much anything except for flails and halberds. Which halberds don't exist anymore now, so they get blackness. So it's only flails. But you can use flails, but you lose all your ranger abilities. So if you use a flail, you can't lead a land search. But you can use it.
And you're restricted on your armor too, so like you can wear under chain at land searches, but then if you want to wear chainmail itself, you can use it, but then you lose your abilities.
Ranger's a good balance class. You can have light armor and fight with great weapons, and then if you have a war, you can throw on a set of chainmail and get a flail and go out there and hit people in the head. Flails are the only thing that can hit people in the head.
Yeah, you can also use a bow. We have a lot of rangers that use bows. We actually have bows with arrows and stuff. 40-pound bows. That's our max. 40 pounds at 28 inches. So.
Yeah, it's not
More like getting punched in the chest with a boxing glove.
Because these things are flying across the air, and they could potentially hit you in the face.
We're trying to get them as small as we can.
They do hit you in the face. I will hit you in the face, and I'm sorry about it.
She does.
I do.
Serious injuries can happen on the field. Arrow shots are probably some of the most dangerous because they're flying and they can hit you in the face.
Yeah. Black eyes, you can lose a contact. Broken noses, bloody noses.
Last camp out, took an arrow to the eye. Obviously, it's still intact. It hurt a little bit. I cried. It happens.
So she touched on being injured a little bit. Our number one rule of safety: all of our weapons, they're made with dense types of foam and blah blah and cores, and the cores are solid or hollow, typically fiberglass. Every weapon is checked for safety every single event. Arrows are basically double checked for safety because for obvious reasons we're shooting them at each other out of real bows with real arrows with padded tips on So every weapon is checked to ensure that not only that you cannot feel the core, and that when you strike with it, that it doesn't overly hurt somebody. So it's a solid, solid contact, but it doesn't hurt. Injuries can and will happen. It is it's a sport. If you want one way or another, you want to look at it. It is a game. It is a role-playing game, but it is a sport. We're out there for 3, 4, 5 hours, and you're running and jumping and smashing into each other, and you're going to get bumps and bruises and scrapes. We have had a few major injuries, but there's accidents do happen. We've had a couple broken noses, a broken leg. I've broken both my hands over the years, which I got big padded gloves on now. Because I was stupid and didn't fight with gloves for a while. So, but we try to do everything we can to ensure the safety of all players. Safety is number one. Fun is number two. We got to make sure that we're all safe when we go home uninjured, because most of us got to get up Monday and go to work. So we're not trying to kill each other for real. So we try to make sure everything's cool.
The cores of your weapon, are they fiberglass?
Some of them, it depends. Some people use graphite. You can use graphite where no metal and no wood is allowed for our cores at all.
Quick question. Can you guys show us how to make these things?
We can, yeah. Some of us make them.
Okay. Or you can buy them from people that already know how to make them, or
there are some people that build and sell.
If you're interested in learning,
there's people that will show you how to.
In the rule book, it actually shows you.
Yeah, there's a very basic way to make what we call old Stone Age tech in the rule book.
Kind of circle of foam.
Pretty much. I can't use them. They blow out every time I use them, so I have to use the better technology now. Any other questions? Technology.